That's what an emotionally mature person does, is they own it. I use this term a lot, emotional outsourcing. Basically, it's easier to say, you are doing this, or you shouldn't, rather than I feel. Hey everybody, I'm Phil Merrill. I'm a licensed therapist. I'm a husband. I'm a father of 3 girls. I'm a follower of Jesus. And today I wanted to share with you this idea of yes or no questions versus open-ended questions. We just got back from traveling with family, and one of my family members has a habit of phrasing a emotional statement as a question, like, you don't really think about this, do you? And it's always kind of rubbed me the wrong way, and I couldn't quite put my finger on it, but I want to do this video to encourage you, is like, there's 2 things. It doesn't feel safe, right? If I have to clarify, it doesn't feel welcoming, it doesn't feel inviting, because it's not actually a question. It's not actually invitation for my response. It's a phrase wrapped in a question. And I think a lot of people do this, and I think a lot of people have experienced this, and it's awful. And I don't know, honestly, where it comes from. It's maybe just our own, we try to be polite, or this is what we learned, how we should phrase our thoughts and opinions, or we saw other people do it. But it's basically this idea that you're not really going out with friends again, are you? Or you don't really like this show, do you? Those kind of questions. It's just ways of saying, I feel uncomfortable with your choice right now, or I worry about this dynamic affecting our relationship, or I'm concerned because I don't know how to support you or connect with you in this area. That's what an emotionally mature person does, is they own it. I use this term a lot, emotional outsourcing. Basically, it's easier to say, you are doing this, or you shouldn't, rather than I feel. And my wife challenges me on this sometimes. She's like, tell me what you want and what you need. Don't, I think the phrase we use, don't pussyfoot around. Because I'll do that, and I probably learned that from my dad. But this idea that ask open-ended questions. I promise you, if you're conscious of that today, that's going to help your relationships. If you go, hey, help me understand what this was like for you. Or when did you first discover this about yourself? Or what interests you about this topic? Those are way better questions than a yes or no. Like, do you like sports? Yes. There's nowhere for the conversation to go. So if you're trying to develop this works with kids, this works with relationships. If you're out on a date, don't ask a yes or no question, because it doesn't lead to any conversation. Say something like, how are you feeling? Tell me about yourself. What are you interested in? What was it like for you? Those are some of my favorite phrases. What was it like for you? What is that like for you? Because that's better than, how do you feel? Even that's kind of directed. But what is it like for you? Or tell me more about that. That's not even a question. That's a statement. It's like, literally, tell me more about that. Because it's assuming that I want to know. Otherwise, I wouldn't say that. I mean, you can with inflection go, okay, tell me more about that. But that's weird. And so help me understand. Tell me more. Versus a yes or no question phrased as or a feeling phrased as a statement. You don't really like sushi, do you? Or you're not really thinking about quitting your job, are you? Maybe that's where it gets a little more personal, right? You're not really planning on marrying this person, are you? You don't really think that music is your passion, do you? You're not you don't really think that you're going to get this job, do you? You know, those kind of questions are just, they're so painful and so discouraging, because it's a I'm feeling concern. I'm feeling fear, or I'm feeling uncertain about this decision. I don't know how to talk to you about this. I have concern for you. But really, so many times fear just messes up our relationships. And if we can't identify it, we can't own it, then it gets morphed and comes out onto someone else. Like, you don't really like this. So stop that. Stop asking yes or no questions. Basically, another way to put that is closed questions. And maybe you never thought about this. So here's one more video for the internet to help you keep in mind not to ask closed questions. You want to ask open-ended questions. How? Tell me more. When? What? I was talking to my wife about this. Why can be a little accusatory. Like, why did you do this? So you got to be careful. What or how is a lot more. I think about like Michael Scott when he was like interviewing Toby, and he goes, "Who do you think you are?" Basically, right? Like he's trying to phrase his anger statements towards Toby as a question, and it's really funny. But open-ended questions, those are way better for relationships. And then if you want to really dial it in, ask the open-ended question, what was that like for you? And then when they tell you, I was really upset or I was really scared or whatever, reflect it. REV, reflect, empathize, validate. Oh, I can imagine how that felt for you. I can keep the focus on the person that you're talking to. That's always going to help them feel more important and cared about and engaged with. And because you know how that feels when have you ever talked to somebody and they ask you a question like, what did you think about that? And you start to tell them, well, actually I really was interested. And then they go, oh yeah, I did that, I did this. Anytime someone brings the conversation back to themselves, it's kind of off-putting. And maybe you're doing that without even realizing it. So tell me more. How about that? Help me understand. What was that like? If you want to improve your relationships, if you're feeling stuck, ask those open-ended questions. And then for bonus points, reflect and empathize and validate with what you're given.